Hey, friends.
Hey.
Hi.
Hi.
Thank you guys for joining me today. Now, we're going to have girlfriends talk about the season of Insecure. So, we've been waiting for about, a year and a half for the new season to come back. It usually comes back. It's been a minute. So, we had a lot to catch up on. So, y'all just kind of tell me what y'all opinions have been about the season and what kind of has been y'all favorite parts.
I enjoy seeing Issa finally see her idea come to fruition. Like, she been working towards this and she quit her job or got fired. When she get fired, right? Did she get fired? Did they let her go or they asked her to do something she didn't want to?
I think she quit.
I don't even remember. I was about to say, didn't she quit?
Right, I think she quit.
Yeah, she quit, but it was because they was passing over her, though, right? She just wasn't healed. Something like that, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So it's nice to see something that she was like really passionate about finally kind of like happen for her, because she's been kind of like out there in limbo doing all kind of different stuff. So I like seeing her vision for the block party come together.
I agree. Just kind of along with Rachel, I definitely enjoy like seeing just Issa find herself in a way. And I think like with anytime that happens, sometimes you're going to have people who aren't as supportive around you, even those people that you thought were, your closest friends and family or whomever. But at times when you finally find what it is that kind of lights your flame and you're doing it, I think that was kind of what we saw when we saw somewhat clearly, especially early on in the season, tension between Issa and Molly. I think that kind of where that stemmed from. But I also enjoyed, real quick, I'll say too, the season focusing more on friendships than relationships.
Versus relationships.
Having a man than just having a man.
Yeah, and like just how we're on right now, like we all have girlfriends, we all have friendships and relationships with our, friends. And so I thought it was a good opportunity to leverage on, that aspect or that dynamic of your girlfriendship. So, yeah.
I agree.
Yeah, I think it was nice to kind of see Issa finally blossom. And I think because we're all in our 30s, that's kind of like the time where we really start to think about like what it is that we really want to do and how can we put it into motion. And I think, we all have our dreams, but I think that's the hardest part is kind of figuring out, really putting it into motion and seeing Issa, taking her small little vision and like really putting it into motion and making it this big thing was good for me.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Well, okay, I'm kind of the opposite. I was bored with that. That's why I've been quiet. I was a little bored with Issa finding herself with her career. And to me, I thought it just dragged on way too long. It started getting interesting when they got into the relationship between Issa and Molly and kind of seeing, how they view each other. And then, of course, when you progress with her meeting up with Lawrence again, that was my highlight. So you could say I have a little bit of a fairy tale complex.
So you wanted to get straight to the mess, Ebony. That's what you were.
Yeah.
You're like, I don't have time for the plug. I don't have time for this.
You don't have time for nobody chasing their dreams.
Find herself.
Ebony said, "They're in 13.
What are we doing with this relationship here?"
Exactly.
But see, I enjoy seeing Issa with the fat dude.
Oh gosh, I did not.
I mean, he was doing something to pass the time, but
she was not interested in that dude at all.
She was not. He was just,
but
he was a good-looking guy. I mean, come on.
He wasn't a bad-looking guy. Yeah, he wasn't a bad-looking guy.
But it was awkward. You could tell she was just trying to.
I guess I had the run-in. Well, both times that he's had appearances where I was like, but when he played the security guard at her event and was so extra, and then when her and Lawrence ran into him,
he had no clue. Like he was just so messy. That is not her type.
Wrong.
He had one job. He had one job.
Yeah.
And his girl was over there. The girl was just like, "You ready to go?"
Yeah.
I think somebody popped in.
Yep, Brittany.
Woods.
Ah, yay.
She popped in, but she
her box on
yet. So
yeah, I mean, like I said, I think the security guard served its purpose. I think Issa just kind of just needed something to do, you know, while she was working on her craft. So I mean, I wasn't mad at the little fluffy dude. I think he was cute.
He was, but I mean, he just was a little like
he was
too much. Like, come on now. I mean, I could tell though. You know, she probably just wanted somebody to pass some time with. Like, he was cool. You know, to just kind of have somebody and get that intimacy when she wanted it, but I don't know. It was a little. He was a bit much.
We're talking about big side thing, Brittany.
Yes, TSA Bay.
TSA Bay.
What about him?
We're talking about what did we really enjoy about the season? Like, what was our favorite highlights before we kind of get up to leading up to, you know, Molly and Lawrence and stuff.
Honestly, for me, it was Issa's evolution. Like, initially, she started out, you know, at We Got Y'all, you know, trying to get in where she fits in, as far as throwing events and stuff like that. But it just seems like what she's doing this year is on a much larger scale, and she's actually getting recognition for it. So I liked Issa's glow up this season. Yeah. Because she's getting her life together.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's
so.
Even though let's get the mess, you missed that.
Like
part.
The mess, I was about to say let's jump into Ebony's favorite part of the show. Okay.
Please. Yeah.
So so we saw kind of what happened with Molly and Issa's friendship, and you know, Rachel crazy ass gonna call me like, you better not ever do no shit like that to me.
Cause I don't like stuff like that. I don't like how that plays.
I guess for me, are we surprised that this is where Molly and Issa are? I would say that I was really shocked, because I thought that with them being best friends that it would never get that far. And I always think about, you know, if you are best friends with somebody and they're doing something that you don't like, you should be able to tell them instead of, you know, just ignoring them and not really being able to express yourself. Because I think it's really what Molly and Issa, it was more so a miscommunication issue the way that I saw it. Molly was feeling a certain type of way.
A little bit, though, don't you think they was brewing a little bit?
Yes.
They were Malibu. Remember Malibu? Back when they went to Malibu, they had fell out over the kind of like, was it Lawrence and what was going on? Like, this was brewing a little bit. It's not like they was just best friends and didn't go through anything.
Well, are you guys? So you guys are saying you are not surprised that they are that it ended like that?
I'm not surprised.
No,
I am. I think Molly is just so unhappy in several aspects of her life that, like the counselor said, do you want to be right or do you want relationships?
And I know, and when she said that spoke to me. That really
seems like Molly is more and more concerned with being right all the time than she is with maintaining relationships. So I'm surprised, sort of, but I don't know. I just think Molly's really extreme. Like, even with Andrew, this last show rather, even with Andrew saying, "I bent over backwards for you," and Molly's like, "How do you bend over backwards for me?"
And it's like, girl, you didn't even want to see his brother.
Yeah, he has been bending over backwards for her all season, to me.
Yeah. I agree.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm missing out. Brittany got the whole thing going. I ain't got no wine.
I should have got my wine.
I
got caught too, like,
I took away my robe.
I tell this, we have a conversation.
This is what happens when you go straight from working to just, you know, like,
right, to on camera. But no, I'm not surprised to see where their relationship has went, because people be at different places in their life. You know, they college friends, and we all can attest to this. They're college friends. They've known each other for some time, but life happens, things happen, relationships happen. And at certain points, sometimes you're not on the same page with your friends. You're just not on the same page. And sometimes also, like, things will be overlooked. Like, you know what I mean? You look at things and you're like, I ain't gonna take it that serious. You don't know that something is brewing. And so I could tell from watching the seasons that they were having little moments of friction. You know what I mean? And those things start to build up and couple in, like Brittany saying, Molly's going through a lot. But I mean, Molly is more overt. We see all of her failures. But so is Issa. Like, Issa been kind of all over the place. Right. Like, she been all over the place. She was in that relationship with Lawrence. It got kind of stale and things went left. And then she cheated with, what was his name? Daniel?
Fine ass Daniel.
Yeah.
Fine ass Daniel. Ooh,
I had him on my vision board.
I did like Daniel. Yes.
He was all right.
I had him on my vision board.
Look at God, girl. Look at God.
Daniel cute. Daniel is cute. Yeah, like, you know, you could just tell that it was going to that place. Now, what I don't appreciate is once they realized there was something going on, I'm the type of person like, okay, let's talk about it.
Yeah, let's talk about it.
Like, you know what I mean? If we're that close, let's talk about it. If you're not in a place where you're ready to talk about it, then just say, I'm not in a place where I'm ready to talk about it.
Yeah.
But do y'all think that Molly is jealous of Issa because she's sitting here and she watched Issa basically lose everything? However, she still fought through and now things are kind of falling in place. Whereas Molly was the successful attorney and she was single and still living her best life. Do you think maybe Molly is maybe intimidated by the happiness?
No, I don't think that Molly. No, I think Molly don't know the new Issa. That's the problem. She doesn't know this new Issa.
But to
she
me,
is expecting for Issa to be the same old person.
To me, this is not a new Issa. This is the same. This is a better version of the same Issa that we have always known. I think. I don't think Molly is intimidated by her, but I do think that Molly might be a little jealous of her because, yeah, you know, Molly has money or whatever, but it's just money. Issa has relationships with all these people.
That's my
She's
point.
doing better in her career. She doesn't have as much as Molly has, but she has more than what she used to have. And I think
she has more happiness.
I was going to say she has more joy in life.
More
I think Molly is jealous of that. And not necessarily, you know, the money, but the relationships. Issa's likable. I mean, I do think she's jealous.
And I feel like she's used to Issa needing her in a way.
Yes, she is.
Being the underdog.
That's where I see her.
And I feel like when you are so used to that person that's like kind of being like somewhat under you in a way, like always succeeding in their career. Yeah, perhaps y'all both have dating issues, but somehow, you know, I'm in Molly's mind, I'm managing to hold that down as well, you know, and I feel like it got to a point with Issa, which is why she even blew up, I felt, at the event, because Issa found another way. Like, I didn't need you. I asked you, and you said no. So I went to my ex, who you met your now boyfriend through, to ask him to help me because you weren't willing to do so. And I think that's what took Molly over. Like, so she still was able to accomplish this without me. Like, how dare her? How dare her have the audacity? And it's like, no, like take a second and look back at what kind of friend you were to her in that moment to push her to do that. Like, she felt like she didn't have a choice. This was the girl's livelihood. I would have did that too.
I would have to.
Now, see, I think it's a little bit of both for me, for what both of you said, like, because Molly has been a good friend to Issa. She just stayed over Molly's house when she was trying to figure out what was going on with Lawrence. When Lawrence broke up with her, all that happened, Molly was there with the wine. Like, Molly has always come through for Issa in seasons past and been supportive for her and listened to her and kind of got her out of situation. Talked to Booze for her. You know, she was talking to Daniel. She did that. So I think that Molly finally in a relationship and she needed her friend. And Issa was finally getting on her feet. They just was in two different places in life, I feel. Like, Molly finally in a relationship and she needs for Issa to kind of reciprocate and be there for her as she worked through her emotions and she got things she want to talk about. And, you know, the Condola thing, I think she was a little jealous to see Issa and Condola just kind of like vibing together and having a good time, they time together, even though they don't normally get so much time together. So I kind of can see Molly's point of view, in the sense of that she needed her friend. And sometimes when you going through stuff, it's hard for you to see that, yeah, my friends also are going through stuff. Sometimes your emotions like, yeah, Molly was dead wrong how she came out. She was dead wrong to act a fool at that event. I was mad still. I'm still low-key mad about that. Like, you don't do this at my event now. Like, we could talk about this at another time, but don't go off on me on my event, something I've been waiting on forever. Like, that's going to put a sore taste in my mouth. But I can understand that she probably needed her friend and missed her friend, but she went about it the wrong way.
Wrong way.
I agree, Rachel, but it just seems to me like Molly, she throw little sneak disses at Issa. Like when they were in
jealousy.
She do.
When they were in Whole Foods or Trader Joe's, wherever they were. At the event, the first event with, when Condola was involved, at the second event, and then when they met up outside of the apartment this time, her saying, well, I don't know if this me knows this Issa or whatever. To me, that's kind of hitting below the belt. That's not even, well, let's talk about it, or, wait, I'm just not ready for this. But I think Molly comes for her and expects Issa not to say anything. Issa says smart things every once in a while, but I feel like Issa's always coming from a different place than Molly. So
Molly's tough for everybody. Think about it. Her men in her life, that's her part of her personality.
She came for her dad. She ain't talking to him.
Her dad. She came for what's his name? When she's hurting, hurt people hurt people.
True.
Hurt people hurt people.
True.
Yeah.
So
for her to yell at Andrew's brother, F you, I'm like, girl.
That
was just too much. Okay, so let's dive into the towel thing, because we all have been at resorts. Bitch, you didn't have your room key, so they didn't give you a towel. I'm sorry, and I'm like a Black Lives Matter, pro-Black type of person, but I did not feel that was racism. You didn't have your towel key, boo.
Yeah, that was her being dramatic.
Some people walked up after her or before her. Did they have a card?
They didn't show that.
I can't remember. And I was trying to figure out what was going on with that still. When the race.
I was like, you didn't have every resort I've been to where I am Black, so I don't know what the experience is for a white person. But she doesn't know what the experience is for a white person either. So every resort I've been to, if you don't have no key, you won't get no towel.
I agree. And I'm not saying the racism doesn't exist everywhere, and that they were in Mexico, right?
Yes,
they were in Mexico.
And I've been out of the country quite a bit, but not enough to accurately say that Mexicans treat Black and white people the same. I can't say that, but when I'm on those resorts, the rules are the rules, regardless who you are.
If you don't have your towel key, you can't get
lose your job over a towel.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So the rules are the rules.
And I think Andrew's brother's opinions were valid. I mean, Asians do experience a form of racism, and we as Black people don't understand or may not know what that is because we're not Asian. So, I mean, she can't really negate his experience as an Asian American versus an African American about who's worse or who's not, because she don't know his experience. Right. So she was not aligned with that. And plus, too, when you meet in somebody's family, girl,
you on your best behavior,
everything, which is why he didn't want to be with her anymore. And especially in certain cultures,
stuff don't stink though.
You said
Molly thinks her stuff doesn't stink, so I don't even know if she would care to impress Andrew's family.
Right.
Most people would, but
I'm with you. I'm not with them. She's that kind of attitude person.
Yeah.
Y'all didn't think Molly was trying to impress him though? She was getting on the zip line, and she was like, normally she don't like to be so regimented. She went and climbed up to the top of the mountain.
No.
Y'all coming for Molly. Ooh.
I think so too. I'm with Rachel.
No, this is what's crazy. I didn't have an issue with Molly until the event episode. I was on the same thing you were on, Rachel, where I felt like they both were being crappy friends to one another. Mm-hmm. And so I was fine with Molly. I felt like Molly had her stuff, and I felt like Issa had her stuff, and they weren't talking about it. I think what took everybody over was the event. And then Molly clearly just being angry and then going off on her boyfriend's brother like that. Like, it's not a good look, you know, like at all. So I was cool until that episode, if that helps at all.
Okay, well let's jump to the finale.
Please.
So I know a lot of people, I had no idea that Condola, I know everybody was speculating that. I didn't think she was going to be pregnant. I was like, no, Issa ain't going to write that up in there.
A lot of people were speculating. Yeah.
Gorgeous, I know about it.
I felt that way 2 weeks ago, but we had that episode in between where we didn't hear anything.
Right.
So it's like, okay, well, maybe she's not. You know, we had kind of pushed Condola to the back burner a little bit, but...
Because if she was pregnant when Lauren said, we talked and it's over, why didn't she say she was pregnant? Or maybe she didn't know then?
Maybe she didn't know then.
At that point.
Or she might have wanted to tell him in person. She might have wanted to tell him in person.
That's what I would think.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so what do we think about Condola going through with this pregnancy?
She's evil.
What?
You said she's evil.
She's the devil. I told you guys I have a fairy tale complex. So in my head,
she's ruining
it. Issa and Lawrence was going to get back together. They're going to work on their relationship, maybe have a long distance thing, and then this she-devil comes with a baby. And it's like, come on.
So
like, no,
I had another friend say
fairy tale. Huh?
I had another friend that say that she was going in, and I was like, whoa.
Yes, so I don't like Condola or whatever. I call her Condoleezza Rice. I don't like her. She needs to go, disappear. I never liked her. And so, yeah, I'm a little bitter about that because here she comes with now a little baby. No one has time
But
for
you're not going to give Lawrence no responsibility either?
You know, a man's going to be a man.
What?
Let me say this. Let me say this. I can speak from experience. I was in a similar situation.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that it's mighty funny that Condola was giving all these, telling Lauren she didn't want to get married. She didn't want to have no kids. And now, all of a sudden, that she's pregnant, oh, well, I want this baby. And, you know, I wasn't ready with my husband, but now I'm ready with a man that I'm not in a relationship with that I barely know. And Lawrence, I'm keeping this baby, and you don't have to get involved.
She's a she-devil. She planned it. Okay. She planned it. She's an educated woman.
Good night with that.
She got money in the bank. She got her own house. And then she saw this dumb fool that was dumb enough to go in there without protection. He shot up the club and he hit.
But
he created a baby.
He shot up.
That happened though.
Shot up the club.
They were probably in good graces and thought they were going to be together. I mean, Condola probably could have been a lot more careful because there are plenty of ways to prevent pregnancy if you don't want to get pregnant. But
especially if you are grown and you're 30.
Yeah, and as smart as Condola says that, you know, she claims to be.
Right.
I would think that.
No, come on. Now y'all know. Now we come on now, y'all.
Control has been free since Obama.
That's true. That's true. But there are all type of situations in the world.
Now you get all that.
But think about it. Let's here's something. I've struggled with PCOS. Okay, right?
Mm-hmm. I do too.
I've struggled with that. I've struggled with fertility. So we all know I was married. Husband passed away. Okay. Right now, I'm not on birth control. Now, I could be dating somebody and maybe using a condom or something. Like, I'm not on birth control because we were trying to do something. We were trying to figure out how to get my periods on track, how to do this. So there are all type of situations, and we all know the common denominator. Dick will make you do some dumbass shit, and I don't care how educated you are. Dick has been slaying women and men for many, many moons, okay? And y'all know that. So don't try to cover this girl who been single and still want intimacy, who has a career, probably still want those things. She may struggle because she used to be an independent and she wants certain things. I'm not going to say every woman's dream is to get married because that's not true. She may have been true. But she may be against abortion. She may not have wanted a baby. She may have got into the moment with Lawrence and maybe we know she was on. He said we thought we were safe, whatever. She may ended up in this situation. And then she may have been like, you know what? But I can't abort. I don't want to abort. I'm here now. This is where I'm at.
I ain't buying that.
I'm with that. Yeah, I'm not.
If we ain't gonna have no honest conversations, I ain't
Condola want that baby.
Why it's always gotta be the woman trying to trap? We all
Condola want that baby because she getting back with Issa and she wants to be connected to him in some way.
Mm-hmm. Period. I mean, and Lawrence is a good catch. If you go,
he's
a baby daddy.
He a good baby daddy. He about to have a bomb job in San Francisco. She can go downtown, get him some papers, put him on child support
real quick.
I like the barber. Okay, so.
You like bipolar though.
What's his name? Bipolar. Okay, and it's all type of people with undiagnosed and diagnosed mental health. Just because you with somebody who ain't diagnosed don't mean they couldn't be. Right. Y'all better stop. I'm not having this happen. Y'all better go. I'm
just saying.
All right.
How do you feel about Lawrence's reaction? I feel like
I think Lawrence's reaction is fair.
I think he kind of insulted her. No. Are you sure?
Are you sure it's mine? If the baby was his, I thought that was kind of disrespectful. Like sure you know, she wasn't sleeping with someone else. That was disrespectful.
He had to ask.
He admitted to that person. They were dating. She wasn't gonna even invite him over with her friends until he brought it up. Like to me, that make it seem like, I mean, you cool. And then her friend did kind of allude to it, which I don't know if it's true or not. Her friend did try to allude to the fact that you're just like an F buddy for her.
Yeah.
So to me, it's almost like, how do I know I'm the only one you messing with? Like, you're not trying to bring me around your friends or anything like that. And it sounds to me that I'm just kind of like somebody on the side here.
And plus, they only dated for a short amount of time. So does Lawrence even really know her like that?
Well, I mean,
she shouldn't be having no baby with him.
I was gonna say if they were skin to skin. I mean, they clearly know each other well enough.
I mean,
I think Lawrence's reaction was fair.
One night stands where skin to skin. You don't know that person.
I think that I don't know. Even though Condola made it clear she didn't want to, get married again or have a relationship, whatever. It's not like she was out here. She was just she wasn't out here.
Dating. She was dating.
She was dating. She might have been classy.
And if she was out here, she got her right.
And she could be classy girl out here. I mean.
But the whole, is it mine? Like, is that the first thing you gonna ask? Not how far along.
I think that is the first.
How you feeling?
I don't think men
shocked. Nah, he was shocked. So
ladies, what's the proper etiquette then for men?
This is Lawrence we're talking about. This is Lawrence. I like to give Lawrence a little more benefit of the doubt.
I think Lawrence probably was caught up in that moment, just how Issa has been. Like, oh my goodness, like this time it seems like it's working. We've like reconnected. She was shutting Nathan down left and right. Like, I get it.
Mm-hmm. Nathan, that's his name.
I'm with Lawrence. I'm with Lawrence, and I feel like he had the same thing going on in his mind. And then that bombshell dropped. And just like that, your whole dream of probably getting back with your ex and starting a family with her has now maybe been, altered. Because you don't know how she's going to respond. So I think
it makes me sad though for Issa because I'll be looking at like Issa and Lawrence's love is like this, like Ebony says, this fairy tale.
I know.
And not to say that they still can't have the fairy tale, it's just not going to be the way that they thought it was going to be.
If we envisioned it,
Yeah.
I agree with that. But
I have a question.
Possible.
Why do we have so much sympathy for Issa though? Like they were both dating.
And this is my thing. Can I say something? don't you think the writers should have like shaken the tables up a little bit and allowed Issa to get pregnant by Nathan and maybe have Lawrence have to deal with that? Because we already know
because Lawrence want to deal with that. He would have been like,
Lauren wouldn't deal with that. That would have been good though, Ebony.
But
yeah, I mean, we already
if she could have not known if it was TSA based or Nathan.
That's not where his life is going.
And that would have been good.
She would have been at the clinic though. She wouldn't have had no baby with no TSA.
No, with Issa, yeah.
But you can
be like, do I keep it? No.
But Issa might have been like, okay, well, what if it's Nathan? And I mean, you never know.
Nathan's so cute. Sidebar, he is cute.
and
when he rolled up on Issa, it was like, I just wanted to tell you. I was like, ooh.
And then
I was mad at Nathan.
I stood up. I sat up like,
have y'all
what
seen
are you about to tell her?
Y'all seen them protesting for the people in real life?
Yes, on Instagram.
Getting beat up by the police.
He looking great. What's his name? What's the actor real name? Y'all know?
Kendrick.
Sampson or Simpson?
Something like that.
Samson, yeah.
Samson?
I think that is it.
I'm here
all you gotta do is go to Lawrence's page and he tags all the people anyway. Because I was showing the comments last night, like
what was the comments? What were other reactions?
A lot of people were just trying to gather their emotions. Lawrence put up a meme, and I think I want to show y'all. Lawrence put up a meme, not a meme. It was like a video. Hold on, let me see if I can find it. He put this up. Let me know if y'all can see this.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Everybody was in the comments like, "Oh, it's too soon. Too soon."
So guys, in closing, what are we hoping? Like, we saw Molly and Issa sitting down to talk. We see, Issa struggling with the news about the baby. What are we hoping the next season is going to come of those final moments that we saw in this past episode?
I hope that, so it ended off with Issa and Molly out to eat, looking like they were about to have a serious conversation. Right. Or maybe a come to Jesus moment of some sorts. I hope that they can really lay the issues out on the table and move forward. Like, I don't know what's gonna go on with Condola, with Lawrence, or even with Andrew, but hopefully they can be there for each other and just lay everything out on the table. So so you can be friends again. Y'all been friends this long.
Mm-hmm.
Be real friends.
What about Lawrence and Issa? What y'all thinking? What y'all want to see with Lawrence and Issa? Y'all think Issa should run for the hills?
I don't think Issa should be backtracking.
I don't either. It is what it is.
All of those things that they got
Issa could have been in the same situation. Lauren and Condola weren't doing anything wrong because Issa was doing it too with more than she was getting her fair share.
I thought she only had the one TSA baby.
She wasn't.
And she did Nathan.
That was right after she had broke up with Lawrence, where she went through that little kind of weird little sleep around phase.
Knowing Issa, her and Nathan messed around. They just didn't show it on TV.
She needs to with Nathan.
What happened?
No, but I really hope they do repair their relationship and get things out on the table. But I also really hope that Lawrence. The things that Lawrence and Issa have been through, let's just be honest, it's going to take a toll in their relationship when it comes to trust and just having to deal with that. They already got the trust thing with her cheating on him. And then also, too, before her even cheating on him, I mean, honestly, she was led that way through, like, the non-intimacy when he wasn't working and all those things. So you got to work through that resentment and what's going on. Now you got Condola. Condola just so happens to be working with Issa. So you got that connection between them. Now she's pregnant. And Issa's in LA and blowing up, and Lawrence is supposedly going to San Francisco. So is he really gonna go now? Baby on the way. So is he really gonna go? You know what I mean? So like that's gonna be a lot of hurdles for them to kind of jump over. Mm-hmm. That's gonna be a lot of contention in their relationship. Yeah. And Nathan fine. I'm sorry, I ain't no Lawrence fan. Nathan fine. She need to go and see what the barber gonna do. She's gonna line it up.
Team Lawrence.
I might be partial to her.
I'm definitely team Lawrence, and I just hope like whatever is supposed to be of Issa and Lawrence at, because I do believe, like, of course it's going to be hard, Rachel, so I agree with that. Like, it's going to be hard, but I think any relationship is hard, and I think anything that's worth having sometimes is worth fighting for. And if they can show us that they can push through this time and be there for one another, like Brittany said, like with the whole Molly situation, like I personally think they need to go and sit at Molly's counselor session and like just get it out, you know, as have a friendship counseling session. Sometimes that's needed if you're not hearing one another. So I think that would be really cool to like really like us, instead of us guessing and analyzing, like really hear from them, you know, what the issues are and how to get past it. But I'm still Issa Lawrence all day. I love them, you know. Nathan, I know he got some things going on, but I think there's somebody out there for him.
It is. And I don't think Issa's that person. I don't.
Okay.
Any other final comments, ladies?
I just hope we don't have to wait until 2022.
Okay.
For the next season.
Yeah, we need Rona to blow over.
Because it is Rona.
Back in the streets.
Because of Rona, and then Issa, you know, she was getting busy with them movies, but she's I love her.
She ain't gonna be able to fit in either because of the Rona.
That's true. Yeah. But yeah, I love her in shows. The Photograph I wasn't that big on.
I loved it.
I like The Photograph.
No.
I never watched it.
And then The Lovebird, I couldn't feel that one either.
I
did
love
not
that
like
one
that
too.
one. I didn't get through 10.
It's okay for me too.
I like
I
Little.
didn't get through 10 minutes of that.
Little was cute.
Yeah, it was.
Have I heard a Little?
With Regina.
I haven't watched that.
The little girl, Marseille, I think. And
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I didn't. No, The Photograph was good. I was proud of Issa.
It was so
with The Photograph.
Yeah.
You said it was slow?
Yes.
Rachel don't like black movies gorgeous, so
don't
don't
I know, and I was not a big fan.
Not even true. Don't even put that out there on recording.
If it ain't got no roses, bunnies, and no fairy tales, and no unicorns jumping from the ceiling, Rachel's not watching it, okay?
Hey, look at that.
Because I'm a Harry Potter fan.
Let me some Issa.